In the shadowy quiet of an African savanna, where sunlight pierces through the dense foliage and the air buzzes with the rhythm of life, there lies an unsettling tale of survival, beauty, and horror. Meet the extraordinary white lion, a creature that walks the fine line between majesty and desperation. His fur, a stunning snow-white canvas, typically invites admiration. But today he carries with him a harrowing secret, a horrific wound that tells the grim story of bee infestation. It is a sight that might churn the stomach of even the most steadfast nature lover, a gaping, festering lesion, swollen and oozing, as though the very essence of nature's cruelty has taken root upon his regal body. That wound, a grotesque hive intrusion, speaks of the intersection of animal life and the struggle for existence. Imagine, if you will, this proud creature suddenly besieged by swarms of voracious bees, small but fierce guardians of their honeyed realm. From the moment these little harbingers of nature's fury found a cavity in the lion's skin, an unsettling battle began. The bees, relentless and determined, invaded what was once the lion's sanctuary, their stings igniting pain and inflammation in a place that should have been a wooded throne of its own wild majesty. The white lion, a symbol of nature's grandeur, is now a horror show, his flesh turned into a graveyard for a hive of buzzing mischief. The entrance wound, an unfortunate portal, is surrounded by a patchwork of angry red, as if his skin itself is protesting this unwanted invasion. Each sting releases venom that wreaks havoc, creating a symphony of agony within his body. With every sting, and every curious bee that wriggles into the self-made hell of that festering wound, the lion's world of roars becomes a chorus of whimpers. But how does such a grisly fate befall this noble beast? The answer lies woven into the delicate tapestry of nature. Every action has its consequence, and every creature plays a role in this interconnected web of life. In the case of bee infestation, it often in the stark, icy expanse of the Arctic, where the sun barely pierces the endless twilight, a chilling sight unfolds. A polar bear, the majestic ruler of this frozen realm, is not just battling the elements, but is also a victim of a grotesque. This is not a tale of mere survival. It is a harrowing account of nature's darker side, where beauty and horror intertwine. As we zoom in on this magnificent creature, we are confronted with a horrific wound, a gaping cavity on its flank, teeming with a swarm of bees. Yes, you heard that right, bees. In a world where one would expect to find only the biting cold and the howling winds, we are instead met with the buzzing of an infestation that defies logic and reason. The polar bear, a symbol of strength and resilience, now bears the marks of an unusual and disturbing encounter. The bees, typically associated with blooming flowers and sunny meadows, have found an unlikely host in this apex predator. The wound, a festering mass of raw flesh, is not merely a result of a single sting, but rather a gruesome hive that has taken root in the bear's skin. The bees, drawn by the warmth of the bear's body, have burrowed into its fur, creating a grotesque nest that thrives in the harshest of environments. This bizarre phenomenon raises questions about the delicate balance of ecosystems and the unforeseen consequences of climate change, which has altered the habitats of both bees and bears. As we delve deeper into this unsettling scenario, we must confront the reality of bee behavior. These industrious insects, known for their role in pollination, have a in the heart of the African savanna, where the sun beats down mercilessly and the air brims with the sounds of life. There exists a haunting reality. A white lion, an embodiment of majesty and grace, is now a victim of nature's cruel whimsy. Picture this majestic creature, usually the epitome of beauty, with a shimmering coat radiant against the ochre landscape. Yet, look closer, and you would find a horrific sight, a gaping wound, a gruesome scar that tells a chilling story of survival and suffering. This is not just any injury. It is the aftermath of a vicious bee infestation, a battle that has left its mark both physically and symbolically. With every heartbeat, the white lion's life hangs in the balance, battling a swarm of tiny yet lethal adversaries, bees that buzz with an unsettling zeal, enacting a revenge that seemingly knows no bounds. Bees, those seemingly harmless pollinators known for their vital role in the ecosystem, can turn into merciless predators when provoked. In this case, the white lion, perhaps encroaching upon their hive out of hunger or curiosity, found itself on the receiving end of a swarm. As the lion attempted to dig into the hive, seeking nutrients or perhaps guided by a stale scent of honey, chaos erupted. Enraged workers swarmed, unleashing a barrage of stings that would send shivers down the spine of any creature. even one as formidable as a lion. With each sting, venom coursed through its veins, igniting a reaction of pain and fury. The once luminous fur is now marred, dappled with blood, and the remnants of the hive, reminding onlookers of a battlefield littered with the consequences of overreach. A stark lesson in the tender balance of nature. As the days drag on, this white lion, despite its regal stature, becomes a shell of its former self, reduced to a canvas of wounds that tell tales of struggle against an invisible foe. The infestation is not merely an occurrence. It is a dark reflection of nature's design, where the tiniest of creatures can bring down the most formidable of beasts. The bees relentlessly patrol their territory, a hive mentality that showcases the fierce loyalty of these tiny warriors. Their collective effort against a larger adversary illustrates a profound truth. In the quiet expanse of a forgotten meadow, where the sun's pale light falls unevenly through gnarled branches, there stands a striking yet sorrowful figure, a white horse whose alabaster coat serves as an eerie canvas for one of nature's darker spectacles. What at first seems like a simple blemish is, upon closer inspection, a grotesque hive of pulsating bee larvae, a living tapestry of infestation and decay. This is not a tale of pastoral peace, but a visceral, unsettling study in biological invasion, where the honeybee, usually a symbol of industrious harmony, turns into an agent of pain and rot. The horse's wound is a swollen, dark cavity, nearly the size of a human fist, festooned with clusters of hexagonal wax cells cluttered with thrumming, writhing insects. Each honeycomb cell hosts either a developing larva or the queen herself, reigning over her pungent domain of decomposing flesh. An intoxicating sweetness, the thick smell of fermenting sap, and decay seeps into the air, mingling with the insect chatter and the slow, labored breaths of the beleaguered animal. The once glistening whiteness of its flank